Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you a video of stories in Roblox. So I would appreciate if you like and subscribe to show your support. And thank you for helping me reach 1,400 subscribers. I'm really thankful. Being that said, let's get on with the video.
One morning, giant creatures suddenly began appearing all over the world. They were humongous and marched through the streets like they were looking for prey. Hours later, an emergency broadcast interrupted every television on Earth. If you make even the slightest movement when a creature is nearby, it will kill you instantly. Overnight, humanity completely changed. Whenever the creatures appeared, cars stopped in their tracks. Schools froze in the middle of lessons. People stood perfectly still on the streets for hours at a time. Then one afternoon, a little boy accidentally sneezed while a creature was nearby. The entire street remained frozen, unable to help him. The creature slowly walked toward the boy. He then knelt down next to him and whispered, "Bless you." For 3 years, Coach Ray had opened the gym at 5 in the morning and closed it at 10 at night without a single day off. But there was one kid he stayed late for, a 15-year-old named Marcus, who arrived the first day with eyes that had already decided the world was against him. Ray handed him a pair of gloves and pointed at the bag. For 3 years, he trained Marcus for free, drove him to competitions 2 hours away, bought his meals on the road, and told him it came out of a fund. There was no fun. When Marcus turned 18, he left the neighborhood without looking back, and Ray never heard from him again. The gym shut down 6 months later when the building owner tripled the lease overnight. Ray packed his equipment into a van and drove home. He told himself it was fine. He told himself Marcus had made it out, and that was the whole point. 11 years later, Ray was sitting in a hearing room facing a false assault charge filed by a man he had never met, with no lawyer and no witness, and nothing to show for 30 years of working with kids except a record of a gym that no longer existed. Marcus walked in wearing a suit that cost more than Ray's van. He was a professional fighter, undefeated, the kind of name that made hearing rooms go quiet when it entered. He sat down next to Ray and slid a folder across the table. Inside were signed statements from dozens of professional fighters, all vouching for Ray's character. The judge reviewed them, found no credible case against a man with that kind of reputation behind him, and threw the charges out before the hearing even properly began.
The World Cup was on TV. Two brothers were arguing. One pointed at Messi and said, "Football belongs to him." The other pointed at Ronaldo and said, "No, football belongs to him." Their father smiled and asked, "Then tell me one thing. When they leave, will football die?" Both boys went quiet. On the screen, young players were running and making history. The younger brother whispered, "But nobody can replace them." Their father nodded. "You're right. Legends are not replaced. Messi gave football magic. Ronaldo gave football obsession. One made the game beautiful. The other made hard work look impossible." The boys stopped arguing. Then the father said, "Maybe this World Cup is not asking who is greatest. Maybe it is asking something harder." The older boy asked, "What?" The father pointed at the TV. "Are fans ready to love football after their heroes are gone?" For a moment, nobody spoke. Then a young player scored. Both boys smiled, but one whispered, "Messi is better." The other replied, "Ronaldo is better." Their father laughed and said, "Good. Football doesn't end when legends leave. It stays alive because fans never stop arguing."
Guys, why are we even afraid of the dark? Like it's literally just a room without lights. Wait, why do I feel like I've done this before? Whatever, back to the topic. Darkness isn't that scary. When I was younger, I thought monsters hid in the dark so that they can eat me when I sleep. But now, much older, I've realized how stupid that thought was.
Well. I guess your younger self was right all along.
Oh God, what the hell are you?
Can't recognize me? I'm your clone. You must have hit your head or something.
My clone? Wait a second. I remember you.
Oh, you do remember me then. Hey there. Don't get so panicky now. I'll just do this to you. Why do I have to do this every day? It's sickening.
This guy had a dream so strange that he still can't explain it. In the dream, he was looking down at a table where a few people were eating together. Every single person was smiling. Then one woman looked directly at him. She smiled and motioned for him to follow her. When he arrived, he found a group of people standing silently in front of a massive pyramid. Nobody was moving. Nobody was talking. Then one of them turned toward him. The man pointed at the pyramid and said, "They aren't what you think they are." Before he could respond, the man spoke again. He said they didn't build them. They found them. The second he heard those words, he woke up gasping for air.
If Roblox games were your school classes, how cooked is your schedule? At first, school might finally be fun. Because if Build a Boat for Treasure was your engineering class, all you have to do is build a boat to get a good grade. And if Dress to Impress was art class, you'd actually get to create something cool. But then you get to math class and it's a tycoon game. So now you're calculating exactly how much money you need before your next upgrade. And PE class would be even worse if it was Rivals. Because instead of running laps, you'd be dodging rockets and getting destroyed by the tryhard kids. But the worst class has to be Murder Mystery too. Because one has a knife, another has a gun, so you're definitely cooked.
Every person remembered every moment of their life perfectly.
Every embarrassing mistake, every argument, every heartbreak, nothing ever faded. Wars lasted for generations because nobody could forgive. Families stopped speaking over tiny arguments from decades earlier. Then one little boy woke up and forgot where he left his toy. At first, everyone thought he was sick, but as the years passed, he became the happiest person alive. Because while everyone else carried every painful memory forever, he was the only person who could finally move on. Guys, my dad really thinks he's still young. He challenges you to arm wrestling. You let him win. I'm better. Wow. Okay, Dad. Then he tries your slang. That's bussin', no cap. Wait, what? I'm just saying what the kids say. You are not a kid. Then he tries to play your game. Dies in 10 seconds. The controls are different. They're the same for everyone. Rage quits. I could have been a pro gamer if I had this growing up. Dad, you grew up with no Wi-Fi. He's not old. He just refuses to accept. The guy renting bowling shoes grabbed me across the counter and yanked me into the back room. I told him to get off me. He didn't. He pulled me past the shoe racks and pushed me down behind a shelf. I tried to stand. He held my shoulder. I told him I'd call the cops. He told me to quiet down. I'd come in late and taken the last open lane, the one still lit up with the last bowler's name, Reyes, the guy who won the cash tournament. The shoe guy wasn't looking at me. He was watching the front through the crack in the door. Two men had just walked in, and one was asking which lane the guy who won the cash tournament was on. Reyes. The name still glowing over my lane. He'd cashed out and left, but his name was still up there at my spot. They thought I was him. They thought I had the prize. The shoe guy hit a button under the counter, and a manager walked the two men out to the lot camera showing Reyes' truck long gone. When I stepped out, I hit a gutter ball.
A young man wanted to leave his city and start a new life, but he had no money. So he went to his mother and said, "Give me something useful for once." His mother quietly went to her room and came back with an old sewing machine. The son stared at it. Then he laughed. "A sewing machine?" I asked for help, not junk. His mother softly said, "Take it. One day it will feed you." But he didn't listen. The next morning, he sold the sewing machine for a few dollars and left the city. At first, life felt exciting. New city, new friends, big dreams. But slowly, everything disappeared. His money ran out, his friends left, and he couldn't keep any job for long. Years later, he returned home, after hearing that his mother had passed away. Inside her small room, he found an old cloth bag. Inside was a letter. It said, "My son, I knew money would finish quickly, but a skill could feed you forever." Then he found something else, a small envelope with sewing patterns, shop papers, and a key. His mother had rented a tiny shop in his name. She had even paid the first year. At the bottom of the letter, she wrote, "I didn't give you a machine. I gave you a way to never beg again." The son dropped to his knees, because the machine he sold for a few dollars was actually the door to the life his mother had already built for him.
A school bus driver suddenly refused to let a little girl get off at her usual bus stop. She started crying. The other children begged him to open the doors. Parents waiting outside began screaming. The driver ignored them and kept driving. Someone immediately called the police. Officers pulled the bus over just minutes later. The little girl was reunited with her parents, but the driver was arrested. The school suspended him that same day. Parents demanded he be fired. The entire town called him heartless. Videos of the incident spread across the internet. Even his own family questioned why he would scare a little girl like that. 2 months later, the school board received a police report, along with traffic camera footage from the intersection. They watched it in complete silence. As it turned out, just seconds before reaching the bus stop, the driver noticed a truck speeding toward the intersection. He had watched it weaving across the road for nearly a minute. He knew it wasn't going to stop. He had only one chance to react, so instead of opening the doors, he drove past the stop. Just seconds later, the truck crashed directly into the exact spot where the little girl would have been standing. The school board personally apologized to the driver. The driver simply smiled. The little girl was alive because he refused to open the doors. Every night at exactly 8 p.m., Daniel's golden retriever attacked him. Not growling, not warning him. The dog would suddenly throw himself at Daniel's chest, knocking him to the floor. His neighbors heard the screaming. Animal control was called. The vets all agreed. The dog had become dangerously aggressive. Daniel refused to believe it, until the attacks kept getting worse. Every single night, always at exactly 8 p.m. The appointment to put the dog down was scheduled for Friday. But on Thursday, Daniel forgot to take his heart medication. At 7:55 p.m., he collapsed in the kitchen. The dog ran over. This time there was no barking, no biting. He repeatedly slammed his body against Daniel's chest until a neighbor heard the noise and rushed inside. Paramedics later discovered Daniel had suffered a life-threatening cardiac event. Then one doctor noticed something. Every attack had happened within minutes of Daniel's heart entering the same dangerous rhythm. For 6 months, the dog hadn't been trying to hurt his owner. He'd been trying to save him. My dad's electric scooter exploded! Let me tell you the whole story. My dad bought this used electric scooter for $160. He didn't suspect that it might be broken. One day he left it to charge and went out. He forgot about it and it kept charging and charging until it exploded. I was sleeping when it exploded and I swear it sounded like bullets being shot. I see out the window and it made a huge fire. I was in disbelief. We all went outside and my brother was trying to put out the fire like, "Bro, you're not doing shit, come back here." The neighbors got involved and helped my brother put out the fire.
If it wasn't for them, our house would have became ashes. We're never buying used stuff ever again. While playing with her friends on the beach, a girl heard someone was calling for help from a distance. She turned around and saw that a man was drowning in the water, so she quickly rushed in and managed to pull him back just in time. He slowly got up, thanked her, and disappeared without leaving a trace. Unsure what had just happened, the girl headed home. Years later, her house caught fire, trapping her upstairs with no way out. And just as she was about to give up, the same man appeared out of nowhere, carried her outside, and said, "Now we're even." And before she could even thank him, he vanished again, leaving behind nothing but a bunch of unanswered questions, caught in quicksand. Things only 2% of us did as kids. Only 2% of kids actually tried to dig a hole all the way to China. Only a few kids tried to walk in someone else's footprints when it snowed. Like the video if you did this. Only 2% of kids tried to make the loudest echo possible in a tunnel. Lastly, only some kids were genuinely terrified of ever getting